What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Kenny Tarot YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys have been doing well. Hopefully you guys are doing amazing, staying safe and staying blessed. But we are back again. Before we get into today's topic, you guys, I want to give a special highlight to a comment from a previous video. And the comment reads from Laura Brecken. And she says, or they say, again, I'm amazed. My guys let me know this pot was legit for me because you talked about charging for readings. Last weekend, I saw my mom for the first time in a year, and she is a talented reader who refuses to charge and judges any readers that do. We had a discussion about that erroneous way of thinking. I am so thankful to my guys for the incredibly important info that came through in this reading, and thankful to you for being the conduit. You are so awesome. Laura Brecken, thank you so much for this beautiful comment. And by the way, thank you so much for the support. I see you. You've been showing so much support on the platform, and welcome to the family. I am so appreciative of you and grateful. But the comment is very important, you guys. This is why I wanted to highlight this, because I know there's a lot of other people within the family. When I say family, I mean people who are also doing the spiritual work, light workers, Reiki workers, whatever the case may be, whatever category you fall in, it's all under the same umbrella as my spiritual workers, my spiritualists, you know, those people. That is when I say my family members. I know there's a lot of them who watches the videos here on this channel, and who are also doing their work, their spiritual work, their version of spiritual work. And it's oftentimes a very controversial topic for some reason when it comes to whether we should charge or when it comes to payment, things like that. And my philosophy about it is that we are naturally spiritual beings. And we come here to get a 3D experience. And part of the 3D experience is making money. So if this is our craft, a lot of the times a lot of us feel compelled to do this as our full-time career, and it's work. Like, this is the part that I do not understand for a lot of people, is that sometimes I feel like a lot of people tend to diminish how much work goes into doing this. Not even just like as far as editing, as far as videos, as far as showing up, or whatever the case may be. It's also very taxing on our energy, and it takes time. And I feel like that it also applies to those of you guys who are also doing very unconventional type of work, such as influencer type of thing, social media type of work. Doesn't have to be spiritual related, but it just goes against what a lot of people have been conditioned to believe, that work is supposed to be grueling. Work is not supposed to be enjoyable. Work is supposed to be, you clock in at 9 o'clock, you get up at 5, you get out at 5 o'clock. And that's not the case. The world it's been changing. This is the age of the Aquarius, babes. And so a lot of times I find that type of thinking comes from the older generation. I have family, and I have been blessed to have a family that is very supportive of what I do. However, there still is a pocket full of family members who are like, okay, so when is a real job gonna come? What is going to be the fruit of your labor that you've been working on? Like, where is it? Like, there's always that group of people who are not going to believe in what you do. But my philosophy is this is still work. And because it's work, and because it's the time and effort and the craft, people that actually care about what they do, you should be compensated for it. And as far as, it's different for everyone. I think if you do choose to not charge at all, that's entirely up to you. But, in my experience, and based off my philosophy, I do believe it's important for us to be somewhat of a hybrid, to be, yes, in the 5D, but also a part of 3D. And part of 3D is making money. Now, granted, when it comes to prices and what you should charge, that's entirely up to the person. But I think overall, I think the concept of not charging for spiritual work, it's coming from a good place, and I understand. But it does, to me, in my opinion, make the argument more valid that this is not a a credible line of work when it actually is. So that's for those of you guys who I've been feeling maybe a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I should do this, and a lot of this, because I see comments a lot of the times, not just from my channel. I don't see it from my channel, but just in general in the spiritual community, how, yeah, sometimes the community will shun people for short charging, and it's just like, I don't get it. Like, what part of this do you not understand? Like, it's like, in essence, yes. That's why a lot of times it's important to have a balance. That's why sometimes I do things for free as well. But that's because sometimes I feel like it's necessary a lot of times, because the money isn't the most important value. But as you guys already know, we do have to make a living somehow. And it might as well be from something that we actually love to do. So hopefully that could something, or maybe give you guys some information, or give you some type of enlightenment as to what you should do if you guys are of the spiritual work, or just, you know, doing something that's non-traditional, or you're an entrepreneur of some sort. So thank you so much for that comment, Laura. I really do appreciate it, and thank you so much for the support. Now, you guys, let's get into today's video. Now, today's video, you guys, I had to give you guys some sort of spiritual food. You know how I do. And today's topic is entitled, Why Was Your Spirit Team Assigned to You? Now, this is going to be exploring, you know, not necessarily who your spirit team are, but that is going to be somewhat highlighted, but it's really more so explaining what is your life purpose, and what is, like, highlighting that part of your life, and also who you are as a soul being, because oftentimes it's your spirit team are going to be somewhat of a reflection of you in some aspects, and a lot of times they will assign themselves to you when you are going to have a purpose, or you're going to be completing some type of mission that is relevant to their toolkit. So this is really here to show you guys a lot of why you are the way that you are, and where you're headed as well, and the type of support that you have on your spirit team. So this should be interesting to see, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So let's get into it. We have 4 piles. Pile number 1 is green Aventurine. Pile number 2 is Citrine. Pile number 3 is Carnelian. And pile number 4 is the black Tourmaline stone. So with that being said, you guys, please choose with your gut and not with your eyes, and I will catch you at your reading. What is up, pile number 1? This is for those who picked the green Aventurine stone. We're about to find out why was your spirit team assigned to you? The cards that they gave us are the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Yo, I know I use this deck like all the time. This is literally one of my favorite decks, tarot decks. It really is. I keep using it because it's just that good. And I have a whole bunch of tarot decks, but this is the one I use the most. I'm sure I do. We also have the Empress. Yay. We also have the Page of Swords. We also have the Trapped and Feared card. This is also the 8 of Swords. I'm sorry, they're already speaking, so I'm just gonna try to go through these cards really quickly before we get into because they really want to speak. We also have Forgiveness. Okay. We also have Green Tara. This is Supreme Protection. Archangel Uriel, we have You Know What to Do. We have Empaths. Yeah, I like this already. We have number 85, Follow Your Dreams. And we also have this card that we'll get into later. Wow, pile number 1. It's so crazy because if you watch the intro, I just highlighted a comment that kind of touched on this a little bit, in the sense that, this is the new age, and people are now becoming more in tune that there are other ways to be successful. There are other ways to be happy and successful. There are other ways to enjoy life while still be abundant. For some reason and it's not for some reason. This is like a years and years, maybe even decades and decades and decades of conditioning that work equals tough. Work equals unenjoyable. Work equals if I'm not tired by the end of the day, if I'm not drained by the end of the day, then I wasn't working hard enough. And that's not the case. That's not exactly true. So for you, pond number one, the reason why your spirit team was assigned to you is because your spirit team is full of visionaries, full of leaders, full of leaders of the new age. They were people who are different from the rest. And these are people who break through traditions and break through, the programming that society has done to us. And when it comes to making money, when it comes to career, this is what we're referring to. So you are meant to be someone who either is an entrepreneur or either makes a lane for themselves in some way, shape, or form. And you may have, or in some way, you could be a part of an establishment or already established business, but it's your touch, it's your ideas, it's your energy that changes it for the better. You're meant to, what you do is meant to cause a ripple effect, in the sense that now everyone will be following that lead. So what I'm getting for this group is that you may find trouble doing the status quo, or doing careers that where maybe you felt like it was very convenient or very comfortable, or it just made sense for you to go in that career, but there's still something missing. There's still something about who you are that isn't necessarily implemented in that career, and that's what needs to happen for you. Because you have the vision, you have the ideas, and they have to be incorporated in your career somehow. And it's going to be something new, something fresh, and you're going to be quite successful at it. You're going to be proving a lot of people wrong. If you guys, I'm just saying this really quick, if you guys are doing spiritual work, you are absolutely going to be an example as to how spirituality and money or materialism are not contradictory. They're actually complementary. And you're going to be an example of that if you are doing spiritual work. But overall, you are going to be an example of how you can do something different, do something unconventional as a career, and enjoy it and still be successful. And a lot of people are going to be hating. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that I can work 80 hours and only make peanuts, but this person could work only 40 hours every 2 weeks and still make a 6-figure salary? It's going to be a lot of that, because what you're doing, people are going to find offensive. It's like, why them? It's like, well, it could have been you too, but you decided to go and follow the sheeps. I don't mean to call them sheeps, but what I mean to say is basically follow the pack, and you're meant to be a diversion of that. Pile number one, let's begin. We have Four of Pentacles in reverse. This is letting go of any ideas, any type of, once again, traditions and any type of conditioning. I'm sure this is something that you've already noticed about yourself. You were absolutely probably like the black sheep or very unique in some way. That was by design. This is exactly who you always were. Your spirit team, once again, are people who often get outcast for being different or being, weird or being, it's really just people don't understand them until far much later. These are the trendsetters. These are the people who are way behind, before their time. So a lot of what you're going to be doing, or a lot of things that you're going to try to accomplish, and maybe in the ways that you're going to accomplish, people are not going to understand it, and that includes family as well. So it's in order for you to really do this and to where you can actually maintain your sanity, is to not, give in to what people have to say. You can hear them out. It's hard for the airplane. And you can consider what they're saying, but you know what to do and you know how to do it. You have great instinct. You're actually quite connected to the divine. You don't have to be spiritual, but a lot of the ideas that you are thinking of, a lot of the inspiration that you get is coming from your spirit team. And I also feel like this is really breaking away from patterns that had a hold on either your lineage or just society as a whole. I get the sense that for a lot of you guys are either already on that very comfortable traditional path and have been feeling lately the urge to do something different. Listen to that calling. I'm getting the sense that when you actually do commit to this, there won't be any blockages. There won't be any, spirit is pretty much going to lead you to success if you do commit to this, once you do commit to this. We have the Empress. And the thing about the Empress, and the difference between the Empress and the Emperor, they're both God-like energy. They're both divine energy. But the difference is the Emperor is someone who, they want control. They take the action. They're a little bit more aggressive in their approach. But with the Empress, it's more so like, you don't really have to try as much. This is what you naturally can do. You know what I mean? You're going to be attracting success and attracting abundance. And speaking of attraction, there's going to be an offer. So once again, I don't know what you guys are currently doing exactly, but I feel like there's like a split. There's some of you guys who are in a traditional type of setting, possibly at a career that you don't necessarily enjoy, but you feel a calling to really do something different, do something a little bit more inspiring, something that gives you a little bit more motivation and drive and fulfillment, while the others of you are already doing something that is a little bit outside the norm. And there's going to be a huge opportunity that's really going to show you like, yo, see, we told you, your spirit team will be like, see, we told you this was the route to go. Confirmation. And the thing is, I see a lot of love. So it's like, for maybe there's one person, for every one person that disagrees in how you're doing it and what you're doing, there's about 5 people who agrees. So, especially if this is like social media type of thing or influencer type of thing, this is indication that you're going to be adored or getting some type of adoration or recognition. But I do see an offer coming through. And this is going to be what your spirit team are saying, like, it's confirmation that this is the path that you're meant to take. It's creativity as well. There's something creative about what you're doing. And it could be, in a sense, once again, just how you're going about it. You are an innovator. You're not supposed to be doing what everyone else is doing. So I'm compelled to say that if you are in a traditional job and you're not necessarily happy, I don't think that's the job for you. I mean, it's really, if you're in a traditional job, that's really where the statement stops. If you have a traditional job, chances are you're not really supposed to be there. Unless, once again, it's in a way where you are implementing your ideas, your creativity somehow, and making it a new version of what it once was because of your input, because of your energy. That's the only way. But for a lot of you guys, I do see like some type of creative endeavor or some things in which I see a lot of entrepreneurs who pick this pile for sure. Because once again, your spirit team are the new leaders. They are the visionaries. They are the misunderstood, but they're really the brilliants. You know, these are the people who people be like, oh my God, y'all are crazy, but really they're brilliant. Yeah, that's how you're going to manifest. They keep having a lot of things to say about this. That's how you're going to manifest. It's when you are in your creativity, when you are doing something new, when you are doing something innovative, when you are implementing new ideas, things like that. That's where you get a lot of your. That's where you get a lot of your drive from. And there is someone who's going to take notice of that somehow. Yeah. Or at the very least, you may get an offer that is completely, totally different than your regular 9 to 5. And somehow you still feel compelled to do it, but it would mean to leave your traditional job. And that's going to be the best decision that you could have ever made. You may not know it at that moment, but you will know it once you do make that decision. We also have the Page of Swords. So once again, this is you, intelligent, brilliant mind. The idea, you have all the ideas. Like, I'm seeing philosophers on your team. I'm seeing, once again, leaders of the new age. We're seeing people who maybe were ostracized a lot of the times, but once again, people are going to, their innate nature a lot of times is to oppress or go against people who are different in some way. And you are going to be shaking the table a little bit, because it's like, wait a minute. We all have to work 9 to 5 jobs and hate our jobs, but this person gets to enjoy their job and also make more money than us? That's preposterous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the type of offense that people are going to take, but really it just shows a lot more about them than it does about you, because it's like, it's just, not only is it jealousy, but it's like, you should be inspired, not offended. And that's what you're doing. But once again, this is, and I feel like whatever you're doing, it's like, or whatever ideas that you may even have, it's like, it's bigger than what you could have imagined. You just need maybe the right people, which is why I feel like that offer is going to come through. I feel like there's somebody else who also sees it the way that you do, and they love what you do as well. So there's another leader of the new age who may also have a similar type of spirit team that I feel like you guys are going to connect with, or at least a team of people. And I love this card because it also shows that, once again, the birds represent spirit, your spirit team, giving you these ideas, which is the light bulbs, and you are implementing them with the book. So it's, and I love, see, this is why I love this deck. Damn, like, it's so much imagery that you can use, and this looks like a tightrope, but it's really like, I guess we're gonna call it a tightrope. But once again, you are walking a path that not everyone walks. So, and it may be scary. It may be scary. I'm not gonna hold you. It may be scary to you, but you're gonna have to have courage, because you are right. Well, everyone who's against you is wrong. And I also feel like with you guys, although you have a brilliant mind, your Achilles heel is your thoughts as well. You can be your own worst enemy, but I feel like that's not necessarily your fault. It's a lot of other people in your ear. It's a lot of other external factors that's playing that. If you had more people around you that actually believed in you and actually was like, okay, do your thing, like actually encouraged you, then that wouldn't be a problem. But I do feel like there's other people, and it could be family, that are telling you that, what are you doing? Like, you better go back to that doctor job. You better go back to that lawyer job. You better go back to school, like something like that. And it's like, that's not your path. Now, granted, you do have free will. And I have to say this as well, because we're going to get into this later, but I do feel like this is not the first time, meaning the first incarnation in which you were faced with this decision to either go the innovative path, my own path, or go the traditional, comfortable, and the path that everyone else goes. And I feel like there are some lifetimes in which you actually did chose that. So once again, you're faced with the decision of which route to go. So it's up to you to make the decision. But this will be a recurring theme in every incarnation. We have 8 of Swords. Here it is, trapped in fear. I do feel like a lot of you guys, you guys could be in fields, career fields that you either outgrown or you don't feel inspired by it anymore. You don't feel motivated to go to this, whatever this job is. And some of you guys are even coming to the realization that this wasn't necessarily your dream. It was maybe your parents' dream or someone else's dream, or maybe just society's expectation of you. So a lot of you guys feel very conflicted, but it's like there's another path. A lot of you guys, they're saying that you know what path it is. Like, the path is either something that you already know, or it's visible to you, or maybe it's something that you have as a hobby, and you maybe never necessarily knew that it could be something that you can do for a career. They're saying that you're going to do it though. So I'm not sure. I mean, yes, it's free will, but they're saying that you're going to do it this time. If you've been feeling stuck in whatever field that you're in, this is what your spirit team is helping you with, making you feel a little bit more free. You're meant to live a very joyous, free life. Yes, there's work, there's career, but you're meant to be one who has a career that they enjoy, that may be fun even. And a lot of you guys are trapped with the idea that work isn't supposed to be enjoyable either. Some of you guys are also stuck on maybe which route to take, like, should I go left, should I go right? They're saying that you're going to choose the right path, which in this case is the more innovative, the more, trendsetter type of path. And for some of you guys, there is, you guys are battling with the ego, telling you that this is not something that you should be doing, something that you shouldn't, this is not going to work for you. When Spirit is here to let you know that it will. We also have forgiveness. So absolutely, in the past lives, you definitely chose the more comfortable route, the more convenient route, or what's expected of you, the status quo. And this is healing. The forgiveness card is referring to healing. So once again, more confirmation that in this lifetime, you are going to be rectifying this. This is what your soul also wants to heal from. I don't want to call it regret, but it's more so like, we tried it one way. Now let's try it this way and see what we can accomplish. I don't know why they're telling me this as well. I'm getting like conquerors also on your spirit team. Like, once again, I'm getting like leaders. I'm getting like people who like push the boundaries, who just go outside the box, do the unexpected, do something completely original and extraordinary. Took risk even, and it resulted in more than what they could have imagined. We have Green Tara, Supreme Protection. It's like, let me read what the card says. It says, you are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation. Trust. So, sorry if you hear the noise. That's people in my backyard just having no type of consideration. Anyways, but whatever it is that you're going to be choosing in this lifetime, because I do feel like you guys will be choosing the more innovative, the more the road less traveled. You're going to be so well taken care of by your spirit team. They literally have your back, and I know that's something that's common to say in spirituality, but they're not going to allow you to fail. They're absolutely determined to make sure that not only you accomplish this for yourself, but for you to be, for this to be like a domino effect, really. Because of course there's a lot of other people doing it, but there's not enough people doing it. And that's what you're going to contribute to. People actually doing things that they actually love. They're also saying they're going to challenge you to go with your heart rather than your mind. And you're going to have to follow what you feel drawn to, whether you feel inspired by, feel motivated by, what makes you happy. Those type of emotions are going to be the indicator of which route to take. Archangel Uriel. You know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. So Archangel Uriel could absolutely be a part of your spirit team. But I think more importantly, your spirit team of yours is really going to be trying to really block out any type of conflicting thoughts that could be preventing you from pursuing this. But they have so much faith in you. They have so much faith in you. And they're 100% confident that you will pull through. And once again, they're very confident individuals too, and I think that's part of what they're going to be instilling in you is confidence, because that's what you're going to need to have. They're so confident that, you know, they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish in their life, and they're going to help you. And once again, these are all innovators, these are all leaders, these are all people who have done something different and were successful at it. They keep talking about your mind is a beautiful thing, but it oftentimes get in the way because of the thoughts and because of people's words. They stick in your mind, and that is sometimes even louder than your own intuition. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for you to really have to block out a lot of people's voices, especially when it doesn't necessarily matches to what your intuition is saying. We also have impasse. So once again, if you're not necessarily going through this now, this is what's going to happen, especially if you guys are not necessarily on the path of trying to do something innovative, do something creative. Because there's always going to be a feeling of, not being fulfilled, and a feeling of somewhat emptiness when you do pursue a career that isn't necessarily creative or doesn't allow you to really implement your creativity somehow. So it does create that stuck feeling. It does create that no matter how successful you could have been or you could be with this traditional career, it will create that stuck feeling, and you won't be able to describe it sometimes, but this is essentially what it is. There's a disconnect from what your soul wants and from what you really truly desire than what your ego may have want or what people are saying that you should want. But it says reflect and redirect your energy. So there's absolutely a new career path, a new career field. If you haven't yet already been on this path yet, there's a new one that it's better use of your talents and your abilities, and will also make you far more successful. Follow your dreams. I do feel like for a lot of you guys, you know what this path is. It's just that for some reason, maybe growing up as an adult, we just began to think that it's not something that we should pursue anymore. It's childish to dream that big. Like, I even see people being like, okay, be serious now. When, no, I'm 100% serious. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to create a new business, or I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And yes, not everyone does it, but I know I can. And your spirit team is saying you're right about that. I have to say, your spirit team are very confident in their abilities, and they're confident in the skills that they're going to instill in you and really the guidance that they're going to give you. But they do know how hard it's going to be or how challenging it's going to be because of the world that we live in. So, part number one, that is going to be your biggest struggle. So it's very important for you to follow your own compass, follow your own true north, follow your own North Star. Because that's what your spirit team is guiding you towards. And if there's times in which you feel like, you're not as confident as you normally are, speak to the spirit team. That's what they're there for. They'll show you. This is a soul's mission, a soul's wish. And once again, it will not be completed, it will not be fulfilled until you commit to this new path or this new way of being, this new form of career, or whatever the case may be for you. It's something new or innovative, or at the very least, not typical, not traditional. And if it is in a traditional setting, there's still something new or fresh that you're adding to it. And once again, if you choose not to go that route in this lifetime, if you do decide to incarnate again, this will happen again. This will be a pattern. So, no pressure. But it's just showing you the amount of belief and encouragement that your spirit team has for you because they know you can do this. But you have to know that. The last card that we have ink pots, and it says problems to be resolved. So, pile number one, they're showing me the devil card. And in this case, the devil card means feeling of trap, feeling being stuck, tied to something that you need to remove. And I do feel like what's holding you back is society, people, whether it's family member, the conditions, the status quo, how it's been for so long does not mean that has to be the only way. And you're meant to break through out of that. And this will resolve that feeling of feeling stuck, feeling of being uninspired, feeling like something's missing. New leaders of the new age, innovators, inventors, entrepreneurs, artists here, creative individuals. Follow your heart, the money will follow. This is confirmation that the money will follow regardless. You will be more than successful. And once again, you have like money making ideas that some people haven't tried yet. Companies haven't tried yet. You will stand out for the best reason. You will be irreplaceable in whatever field that you're going to be exploring on this new path. And your spirit team are full of people who's broke the mold, who are diamonds in the rough, who are completely unique, and that was pretty much the key to their success as well, doing something different. So, pile number one, wow. This is already one of my favorites. And yeah, it's a journey that isn't necessarily going to be the easiest, but you have so much support on the other side. So much support on your spirit team. And you're just like them. And they won't allow you to fail. So, with that being said, pile number one, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you feel so inclined, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But other than that, I will catch you guys next time. Bye. What is up, pile number two? This is for those who picked the Citrine stone. We're about to find out why was your spirit team assigned to you. The cards that they gave us are the Two of Swords. We also have the Seven of Swords. We also have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. We also have number 11, Balance. This is also Justice. Yes. We have Greco-Roman. We have Lady Portia, Divine Order. We also have Indigo and Crystal Children. We have Wandering Path. We also have number 57, teaching and learning. And this card that we'll get into later. Pile number 2. This is a very interesting bunch. Because your spirit team, incredibly intelligent, incredibly ahead of their time. And these are the doctors, these are the scientists, these are the researchers, these are the ancient philosophers making new discoveries that will help advance humanity. There, they said it perfectly, of course they did. These are educators, these are the, this is who you are in essence as well. So, in relation to your life now, you are meant to be a part of, whether it's a team or just in the field of advancing humanity by way of maybe knowledge, acquiring knowledge, making new discoveries, research. I do feel like this is a group in which I'm convinced to say that a lot of you guys will be going through some type of formal education. You guys will be having like doctor something in front of your name, like doctors. You know, you are meant to be a master of a particular field of study for sure. But what's funny is that I almost get like you could be someone who's very practical, and that's beautiful, but oftentimes it could conflict with spirituality sometimes. But even though it's supposed to complement, but sometimes it can conflict. Like, you know, this could be a group of people who, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. And you would think that Source, God, or whoever however you may refer to them, will be like upset by that, but no, not at all. Like, in fact, like people like atheists, these Source finds people like that to be very intriguing, but also there's beauty in that because that just showcases the unique quality and a unique aspect of them. So it absolutely doesn't anger Source if you feel indifferent about spirituality or even the belief. It just further intrigues them and it actually makes Source happy, actually. A lot of people don't want to have that conversation, but this is true. So with you, it's definitely research-based, knowledge-based, proof, hypotheses, and then proof, like that type of way of thinking. Some of you guys could be Aquarius because that's kind of Aquarian energy as well, but it doesn't have to be. Air signs is what is given. But overall, that's what I see. Your team is full of people like that, making discoveries. Maybe there's some, new invention or new thing happening in medicine that was created from the people on your spirit team. Like, that's your lane. Your lane is research, making, you guys are the keeper of knowledge and seeker of knowledge. And with your knowledge, you are helping advance humanity and helping them evolve. But I have to say, I kind of feel like for some of you guys, there's a need for evolution of your own as well, which is what this spirit team is also helping you with. Let's begin though. We have the Two of Swords. I laugh at these cards, and also the Seven of Swords, because we're going to kind of read these together. I laugh at these cards because the birds are your spirit team. And it's funny because if you look at the depiction of these birds, the crows, it's almost as if the person who they're trying to communicate with is not listening or just doing the exact opposite of what they're trying to show them and teach them. You know what I mean? And that's in essence what I feel like a lot of you guys are currently in. Some of you guys may not necessarily believe in spirit teams, or maybe have not necessarily, like, once again, it's just who you are. It's your nature. You need food, you need proof, and we need facts. Okay? So, a lot of the times they are speaking to you in some ways, maybe by showing you some sort of articles or some type of documents, or even trying to inspire you to really read something or really research something. And I feel like a lot of you guys are not necessarily, I think innately you guys do thrive off of having knowledge, but there's something deeper here that you could be researching. There's something more deeper, I guess, and more transformative, and maybe even there's a discovery that could possibly change the trajectory of humanity that could also be discovered here. I also feel like it could have to do with a little bit more philosophy, a little bit more of even spirituality. Spirituality, I think, is it's a field in which there's still a lot of things that could, from a philosopher or from a researcher or from a scientist's point of view, you would think needs proof, but there's other things that can't necessarily be explained. And so there's something about that I feel like maybe explaining the unexplainable, I feel a lot of you guys could be drawn to. But I also feel like, once again, there is like there's a rebellious nature with you, but there's also something that your spirit team understands. But they're like, okay, we're trying to give you some knowledge as well. Like we've done our research as well, but this is what we have. Now it's time for you to add on to it as well. Yeah, so I get that some of you guys are not answering the call. And by the call, I mean there is something bigger for you guys to discover. There's something bigger for you guys to research. There's something else bigger, more deeper that you could be exploring upon. And it will impact the world. It will impact the world. The Two of Swords speaks about not necessarily seeing what you need to do or seeing where you have to go. The Seven of Swords means self-sabotage, meaning there's something else better that you could be utilizing your talents and your intelligence on. And I also feel like with you, it has to do with, if it doesn't stimulate your intelligence either, I'm not doing it. Your spirit team understands that, which is why they're really trying to direct you towards interesting topics and interesting fields of research where many people have yet to make a lot of discoveries. I also see like it's some type of breakthrough that's going to be made by you in some way. Yeah. You're meant to shake some things up. Like, I feel like this group of people are like the first person who discovered this, the first people who researched this, the first people who found a cure to this, like something like that. This is your lane. This is your lane. But there's a disconnect. I almost feel like maybe you guys could be doing something completely different, but I feel like innately this is who you are, in which you are a seeker of knowledge. You are someone who thrives off of knowledge and wants to discover things and are naturally interested in things. But once again, it has to stimulate your intellect. It has to be of interest of you, of course. But there could also be something with money here, in the sense that maybe that particular path isn't necessarily profitable. Because once again, you are a practical individual. That's just who you are. And I think maybe to your degree, it's like, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And once again, that's something that could be debated upon. But I kind of feel like you are going to be an example of in some essence, following your dreams is the right way to go regardless. Because I do feel like there's going to be a very specific research field or career field or whatever the case may be, research, discovery field, I don't know what you want to call it, but there's a lane specifically for you where you're going to be stimulated as far as your intellect goes. There's going to be a lot of things to discover as far as knowledge and research, and a lot of breakthroughs are going to be made, but you're also going to get paid. So it's like there's something that's a happy medium, and your spirit team is trying to show you that route. I almost get your spirit team actually had all the brain power, all the knowledge, but it's like they all lived possibly broke lives, and I say that with all with all due respect. It's just they weren't worried about that. They weren't worried about money. They weren't worried about. It was more so like they've lived off of knowledge. They live off this type of research, type of life. And because pile number 2, you are in this 3D experience here in 2022 or whenever you're watching this, things are different now. There has to be somewhat of a balance. And this is what they're trying to show you. You could be someone who's very much into research, very much into this, always a student. You are a lifelong student. Like, you'll always be a student somehow, in some way. That's just in your nature. You have a thirst for knowledge that's not quenchable. But they're really trying to bring you attention to the fact that there needs to be a balance. And I do feel like it's the material balance that's as well. Speaking of which, we have balance. This is the Justice card. So in this lifetime, your spirit team is helping correcting a imbalance that they've had. And once again, I do feel like it's touching on, okay, we have the knowledge, we have the discovery, we have the thrive, and on top of the times, that's pretty much all. The people, they've dedicated their lives to this, is what I'm saying. And in some cases, they didn't necessarily have time to enjoy it. So, although the arsenal of knowledge that they have is at your disposal, they still want to enlighten you about the need and importance to have a balance. To also live this 3D experience and not just be in your head, or live in the future, what you could, discover. Even though whatever it is that you're going to be contributing to, it will have a significant impact on the way humanity think and be. But yeah, there's a disconnect, and I feel as though some of you guys could. It's either one of the other extreme. Either y'all doing a lot of y'all very much into, like, very obsessed with trying to be more knowledgeable, maybe do some type of research. Maybe there's like a specific focus in your research that you've been obsessed with for a very long time and dedicated a lot of your time and energy and life to. And Spirit is like, okay, that's cool. That's why we're here. We're giving you those tools as well. But we're trying to prevent you from making the mistake that we probably did as well, which is not have a balance, not enjoying life, not enjoying the material as well. So we have Greco-Roman, or Greco-Roman, but this is Greek. Absolutely, we have ancient philosophers on your team. We have doctors, once again, doctors, scientists, researchers, teachers, students, all on your team. So you will have an innate thirst for knowledge and a hunger for knowledge. Once again, it's not quenchable. It will never go away. That's just who you are. And they're saying that's beautiful. And that's what they're helping you with. But they really seem to really want to put emphasis on the need for a balance of that. They're saying that this is when you're at your most happiest, when you are in that, in the essence of a philosopher, in the essence of a researcher, in the essence of someone making new discoveries. Because as much as this world has, or humanity has discovered things, there's still a lot more that hasn't been discovered. And for a lot of you guys, that intrigues you. And they're saying keep that drive. But remember, there's an important to also live in the now and enjoy the experience that we were meant to enjoy as well. But they're saying you're at your happiest when you're in this. So I have to say, if the career that you're doing now doesn't have anything to do with that, where you're researching, just making new discovery. I'm seeing like new medical discoveries as well. I do feel like this group is going to be a lot of people who are going to have some type of formal educational background as well. I think you guys are going to do quite well in school as well. I feel like when it comes to like formal education, that's not going to be difficult for you. I almost feel like for some of you guys, you might find school to be boring because you're too advanced for it. Another thing that I'm getting with this group is that there is possibly because they mentioned it before, especially like the atheist thing, to further propel a free way of thinking, to introduce new ways of thinking as well. The next card that we have is Lady Portia. This is Divine Order. And it says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So once again, I think they are trying to encourage that this is who you are and this is how you should be, as far as giving in to the desire to seek more knowledge, to make discoveries, to research more. But I think another lesson that is also being taught here is to remember that you're here to live also an experience that is unique to your own. They're not just your spirit team are people who dedicated their entire life to this, and I wouldn't say they have regrets, but I will say that there are some things that they probably would have maybe adjusted, and they're trying to prevent that from happening with you, in the sense that still make time for love life. Also recognize that money is important in this life, in this world. That's just the way it is. To also make sure that those things also has value to you, not just knowledge. Because knowledge is power, but also other things are as well. I love this card. We have Indigo and Crystal Children. Archangel Metatron's here. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. Now, this could indicate that you guys could be one of these, which is Indigo or Crystal Child. You would know. I'm not going to get really into it. You can do your research, you can Google it, but Indigo Childs are pretty much, how can I say? Very particular mission. Both of these type of children have a very huge mission, and they're going to impact the world in some ways. Indigo Childs usually have a more rougher upbringing because that is what their soul desires, because they will achieve a high level of growth in that type of environment. While Crystal Child don't necessarily have a rough upbringing, they really are quite the embodiment of the most purest type of energy, and they're meant to show people by their way of living, inspire how we should be as a humanity. So overall, this card is indicating that you will have an impact on the future of humanity. Absolutely. Yeah. And there's an actual career here as well. There's a career here. So this could indicate that your spirit team are implying that a lot of you guys will be more drawn to fields of study that has to do with the development of children or the advancement of children or just humanity in general. But there's money to be made there. Not to say that that's your main concern, which I don't feel like it is, but it's a way where you can reach the happy medium in which you are at your most happiest state. They're showing me the 10 of Cups, your most happiest state, where there's an equilibrium when it comes to what you actually are driven by, which seems to be knowledge and discoveries and research. But also there's love there, there's an emotional capacity there, there's also the financial material aspect about your life as well. There's a way to have it all, actually, is what your spirit team is also saying. They've had it all one way, and they're trying to show you how you can have it all while still maintaining your authentic self. Now we also have wandering path. Enjoy the journey. So what I like about this is that your spirit team is there along for the ride, in the sense that this is not going to be a very linear type of path for you. You may have research when you want to do this. You may have research when you want to do that. They're telling you to go with that inspiration. Go with the flow in that sense, despite anything else. Go with that. It's not linear for you. So from where you start may not necessarily be where you end up. This is also the group of people who I feel will probably go to school a lot of the times, even with I feel like a lot of degrees that this group is going to have. There's going to be so many degrees in the back of on your wall. This is people who are going to be doing graduate theses and things like that. Like, this is that group. And that's who you are. That's where you thrive. So once again, your journey, it's like it won't ever have, there's no straight and narrow way to do it. It's always going to be wherever your mind takes you. But once again, they still want you to make some time for some love in there, to enjoy the company of others, and also to know that this world that we're currently living it's heavily, influenced by money. Like, money is a necessity in this world. So that's something else that you have to remember as well. They keep saying, like, there's doctors here. Like, once again, I really feel like you guys are you're going to have a doctor in front of your name. Doctor, pile number 2. Because once again, I see masters of a particular type of field or study. You're going to be known as experts in whatever field that you pursue. And you're just going to be like a beacon of knowledge. Number 57, teaching and learning. So once again, they're making me bring up this card. So I do feel like you are, in some ways, going to be influencing generations to come, or making, developments and research that are going to help humanity evolve in some way, shape, or form, and progress. Some of you guys could be drawn to the actual occupation of being teachers. That's absolutely your field, if that's the case. But this is ultimately your soul's wish as well, to do this, to be somewhat of a guide. But it's based off knowledge, not necessarily based off of, like in my case, spirituality. It's based off actual knowledge and actual research and actual study. And you're going to be an expert in a particular field. Geniuses. So I love the fact that your spirit team is they're intellects. They're first in their class. These are the valedictorians, or these are the prized philosophers and researchers of their time. But they've learned about some of the things that they would change, and this is what they're trying to influence within you, is that, yes, knowledge is power, but there are also other things that you should focus on as well, such as love, such as the bonds, the connections that we make. And of course, in this case, money is also a factor you should focus on, and that's okay. The last card that we have, Lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry. What's funny is that after I said money is also important, I almost feel like you guys are fighting me with that. I almost feel like you guys are fighting me with this card here. This must be like a struggle for you. You must, I don't know, I guess some of you guys may have no qualms with living a life that is solely based off knowledge and not necessarily based off the other aspects of life that we came here to experience. And this is what they're trying to rectify, because that part of this almost like I'm getting some pushback from that, and that part is they're saying that's who you are, but we as students, as forever students, as you guys are, we also have to be open to change, and they know what could have worked for them and they didn't implement, and this is why they're trying to show you a slightly different route. I also get the sense that this is what they were fighting as well. Like, this is, yeah, I just feel like there's a need to be somewhat of a hybrid. There's a need to be somewhat hybrid in which other aspects of, like, whether it's love, emotional connections, and money, like the cups and the pentacles are also important, not just the swords, not just the sword and the wands, if you catch what I'm saying. The sword as in your knowledge, your intellect, wands as in your inspirations and your aspirations. There's the emotional and the material are also important as well. And once again, I get that maybe there are other people in your life who are saying the same type of things, and maybe they're met with words that they can't debate against because you made a perfect argument as to why you shouldn't change. but this is your own spirit team saying, no, this is the way that we're going to evolve. Because although we know a lot, there's still room to develop. So you may be making some advancements or making some discoveries that will develop humanity in new ways, but they're also saying that you could also experience a development here. Pile number 2. I really enjoyed this. I really did. It was a very unique reading. I don't think I've ever had a reading like this before. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Your spirit team is full of, wise ones. But not only just wise, these are book smart and, they have the credentials to know, and they know what they're talking about. So if you feel so inclined, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But other than that, I will catch you guys next time. Bye. What is up, pile number 3? This is for those who picked the Carnelian stone. We're about to find out what was your spirit team assigned to you. The cards that they gave us are the Hierophant in reverse. We have the 8 of Cups in reverse. We also have the Chariot. Wow. We also have number 7. This is the 7 of Cups, entitled Choose Wisely. We also have Knighthood. We have this legend, Horus, Cosmic Gateway. We also have Archangel Jophiel, Outdoors. Navigating by the Stars. I believe that's the first time that card has ever come out in a reading. We also have number 7, Personal Growth. And this card I will get into later. Interesting. Pile number 3. So, your spirit team are absolutely, they're just showing me back to this Knight card. So it's like, they're saying, it goes, once a knight, you'll always be a knight. And in essence, you are someone, in your spirit team are people who have dedicated their lives for the safety of others, dedicate their lives to protect the weak or the vulnerable. It's a very self-sacrificing type of way of living, and although that's honorable, and it's amazing. Your spirit team are really looking back on their own lives and are like, yeah, that's cool and all, but what part of my life is for me? When do I get to, do something for myself? So it's something to say that you will naturally be drawn to helping people, to even be in positions where you are speaking up for those who can't speak for themselves, or even, it doesn't have to be a career. It could just be like you may be that type of the one child who always takes care of their parents while the other kids don't, or the person who naturally defends the person being bullied, even if you don't know them. And they're saying that's going to be always who you are, and we're proud of you for that. But the one thing that we would change in our own lives is the fact that there wasn't necessarily a lot that we can say about who we are as an individual, what our life was going to be. We had our duties, which you may feel like you had too, but we never got a chance to really discover what more life could have been. if we actually did not what we felt drawn to do, or what we felt we were supposed to do, but what we actually wanted to do. So it's them really trying to say not to lose that part of who you are, this knighthood, that type of honorable individual who defends others, to not lose that, absolutely not. But it also is important to enjoy life for the sake of yourself. Sorry for the airplane, but to enjoy life in a way that you also want. That isn't just to protect others, or it isn't to make sure that everyone else's safety is ensured or something like that. But what about you? Who's going to save you? So in this lifetime, they're challenging you. They're challenging you to be the different. Be the one who goes the other path, by forging a new path of your own that isn't necessarily blatantly for the sake of others' safety or comfort. That's going to be your task. And I have to tell you, it's not going to be an easy one, because once again, that's who you are. That's who your soul is. You could have been someone in a past life that absolutely served as someone royal guard, or someone who could have been some type of ruler who was actually for the people, and actually was on the front lines somehow. And they're saying, once again, that's beautiful, and that's someone that you should absolutely continue to show. But I almost get the sense that they want more of a balance for you, in which there is a part of your life that is dedicated only for you. Let's begin. We have the Hierophant in reverse. This speaks about breaking old patterns, breaking old traditions, but basically breaking, being the different in a pattern that we've always been in. I get the sense that you spent many lives being, that selfless individual that you've always been. But it's time for you to be a little bit unorthodox this time around. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. It's okay to be selfish. With you, there's going to be a message of a communication. It could even be like it's some good news coming your way, and it's being sent by your spirit team, or at least you're being guided by your spirit team towards this. And it's supposed to inspire you to really follow a path that is truly dedicated to your own wish and your own desires and whatever interests you, your other interests. And I have to say, it may not have nothing to do with being of service of people. It may have nothing to do with that. I see something else that's uniquely for you, in the sense that it's not no type of duty, like you're not putting your life on the line for someone. Like, it's something else that you are going to enjoy, and it's completely different than what you've been doing in other lives. Like, this is not who you are. This is what your spirit team is saying. This is not who you are, but this is who you're supposed to become. So this is a different. You're meant to. I mean, this seems like such a it may seem a little bit burdensome, and hopefully you don't feel that way, but it shouldn't. They're trying to give you the freedom, because for some reason it feels like you don't feel like you have the freedom to do so when you actually do. They're trying to give you the freedom to truly explore life the way that you want it to, and truly enjoy life. But of course, a part of you does enjoy being that knight in shining armor for people. But they're encouraging you to also try living a life, or at least some part of your life, in which it's completely selfish, completely only for your enjoyment. And there's going to be something that's coming about that is going to inspire that. And you're going to be like, I don't know. Because it conflicts to how your soul's history has always been. But in a part of you is going to feel like, I don't know, it's uncomfortable to live a life that could solely just be just for you. It's uncomfortable, but it's only uncomfortable because you're not used to it. Your spirit team has not ever lived a life like that before. These are people who maybe even gave their life for the sake of others. And they're trying to make you the difference. Make you the exception. This is like people who are also in the medical field. I'm seeing that a lot, or who are taking careers or feel drawn to careers that have to deal with guarding people, whether it's security or whether it's a personal bodyguard, or I mean that was pretty basic and literal, but just any type of career field in which you are of service to other people and their well-being. This is kind of what they want you to leave from. But you will feel naturally drawn to those type of fields and careers. But once again, it doesn't necessarily have to be about career. It could also be about, it's just in your nature to really give a lot more of yourself to other people rather than yourself. And they're trying to correct that. And they're trying to make you the difference. Different. So we have the Eight of Cups here. It's going to be like this. It's like some of you guys are going to be dedicating your life to something, some type of cause even, or some type of particular occupation or field, and you're going to constantly feel some type of longing of what if. And what's also nice is that basically you're going to be drawn to a change. You're going to be drawn to live a different type of life, not one that may be as comfortable as the one that you currently live or have been living, but a different one that is going to feel right to you once you actually do commit to that type of life. A life where you're selfish. I mean, that's probably a word that people cringe at, but selfish in this case it's a great thing. Because your life is not just for the sake of others, it's also for yourself. You have your own experience, you have your own journey, you have your own, plan here. The Chariot card. What's nice about this, what your spirit team are doing, is through you doing this, by living a life that's different than being at service of others, through you, they will also reap the benefits. They will feel like, yeah, okay, now I don't no longer know what I was missing, from my own life. Because these are people who are going to continue to instill those qualities of a knight, or instill those qualities of a protector, as a caregiver even, or as someone who's honorable, They're going to continue to instill that within you. That's just naturally who you're going to be. But they still have, I almost feel like unfulfilled desires, and which is why you are kind of going to be the representation of that. And so they're going to, through you, they're going to also feel fulfilled in that aspect. They're taking you somewhere, and it's somewhere far away from what you've been doing currently. Like a journey, like you could be on this journey, this path to becoming something. They're taking you somewhere else, and it's going to lead you to a more satisfied life. I think a part of the nature of I keep using the knight because that's the card that we have, and we're going to get to that. But the part of the nature of a knight will always be a part of who you are, and I think they're once again not saying to disregard that. In fact, embrace it. But you still need to have a life of your own. You still need to live your life for yourself. So I have to say this: if you guys are drawn to like careers in which you are saving people or protecting people, and you don't get any response, just know that this is the reason. They want you guys to try something that you actually have interest in. Not to say that you don't have interest in the other thing, but it's more so like they want you to try something that you have interest in, but it's completely self-indulgent. Like it's something that you are fulfilling because you want to, not because it's going to protect the world. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? Once again, they keep telling me, through you is how we are also going to feel fulfilled at this. So, no pressure. But this is kind of fated. Like you're meant to go a different direction. Speaking of which, we have number 7. This is choose wisely. This is the 7 of Cups. This is referring to the path that you have at your disposal to take, but there is just one path really that will lead you to the happiness that they want you to achieve. Granted, you will, no matter what path you could choose, you could feel happy, but we're trying to achieve another level of happiness in which you are living a life that isn't dependent on the well-being of others, just only what you want. That may not necessarily come naturally to you. That thought may not necessarily come naturally, but one day it is. Birds in this case is also referring to spirit team. So this is your spirit team once again guiding you to the right direction, guiding you, just like the Chariot card. They're guiding you once again. They're taking you by the hand because it's like, if they don't do this, you're not going to go. So they have to literally take you there. So I don't even think you really have to try. You will naturally find yourself at a point in your life where you will want to explore this pathway, and it's a pathway in which you can truly feel like, this is my life. This is what I desire. This is my path. Yeah. Knighthood. It's just, it's eternal loyalty is what they're saying. Loyalty to people, loyalty to those that you love, honorable. Like it's, you don't, when you give people your word, it's your word. It's unbreakable. Your word is your bond. It's your contract. And oftentimes your spirit team is also saying that this is what has led them to the end of their incarnation in this life, not with regret, but with happiness, because it's like, yo, I did my task. I did what I was supposed to do. I fulfilled my duties. But now they're like, okay, but for you, let's try life in ways in which it's about you now, not about others. Because the knighthood is about other people. It's not necessarily about the knight. You have duties, you have something to fulfill, and you protect others. You ensure safety of others. So that part of you is something that's beautiful, something that you obviously should embrace and people will love you for. But oftentimes these type of people can also be taken advantage of as well. So you could also be someone who experienced that. But that would just be more reasons to believe that there's another path that you should explore this time around. One of which is selfish, something that you truly desire. It's like you're going to always have a sense of duty. You're always going to have feel a sense of duty, and that part of you will be, it will keep you in a place of how can I say, like a state of stillness, because you're preventing this from happening when this is exactly what's supposed to happen. I think it's also going to be hard for you to really get in your head that this is okay. That it's okay to live a life like this. Because I think a lot of people are going to be affected by this decision, in some way. Or maybe important people or important figures in your life are going to be affected. And it's important for you to not feel ashamed or not feel guilty. Because once again, you have your own life to live here. And it's not just for the sake of others. We have Horus, or Oris. Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. I get the sense that for a lot of you guys are going to dedicate a lot of your lives, or a good portion of your life, to a specific field, like career, that is of service to other people. I'm talking to doctors, ER, like ambulance type of work. I'm also getting, once again, the literal sense, like bodyguards, things like that. I'm also getting stunt double for some reason. I'm sorry, it's just like, I never thought about it, but I always wonder, like, how do you even come to the conclusion that you want to be a stunt double? I always wonder that, but I digress. The point is, I see a lot of you guys in those type of field work that relates to dedicating your life for the safety of others. And Horus is here to say is that your spirit team sees a different future for you. And it's changing. It's changing without you. Like, it's changing regardless. And I don't want to make it seem like you don't have free will, because you do. But your spirit team knows what's best for you. So there's one path that's ending for a lot of you guys, and a new one is beginning. I have to say, it's going to be tough for a lot of you guys, because you're going to feel a sense of duty or a sense of commitment to that, like you quitting or you even ending that path, it's like I failed, when it's the exact opposite. You won. You're about to win in life because you are now pursuing life for you, not for others. But I get the sense that it's going to be a little bit of a struggle to get to that point. The Chariot card indicates that as well. Even though we will make it, your spirit team is saying we will make it to our destination. Like, that's not, there's no question about that. But it doesn't mean that the road to that destination isn't a bumpy one. I get the sense that it will be a bumpy one, but it's really your energy that's going to be like, no, I can't do that. Like, what kind of person would I be if I lived a life like that for myself? A good one. We also have Outdoors Archangel Jophiel. This says, go outside, get some fresh air, and connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. This is really, I mean, it says go outdoors, but I'm really reading it as outside the box. Because once again, it's you're going to have to break free from a usual way of living that you and also your spirit team has lived in lives before. And once again, they're not saying to lose that part about you. They're saying not to dedicate your life for that. There's other aspects in life that are waiting to be explored. And it has nothing to do, it's okay if it has nothing to do with it being like for a good cause or for a sake of others. So this lifetime is going to be something different for you. You may have lived a life in which you were a royal guard or a royal knight. In this lifetime, you are protecting yourself and your dreams and your goals and your desires. And that's going to require you to think outside of the box, in the sense that you may have one way of living, which is for the sake of others, but this time we're going to do different, which is going to be living for yourself. They're also saying that it's taxing to live that type of life. Even though it gives us joy and it makes us feel like this is what we're meant to be doing. You're right in a sense, but it's like they desire for you a more enjoyable, more relaxing type of life. A life in which you actually, I'm getting even having fun. I don't know what you deprived yourself of or what has been deprived of you, but it seems like a lot of that was enjoyment. Life is not just about, once again, I just get that it's nothing wrong living that type of way, but it only becomes evident that there's a lot of things that we have yet to explore about who we are and what we actually do want. It leaves a lot of room for that, and this is the time where your spirit team is like, we're not going to do that again. We can't do that. We've done it that way before, but let's see what life could be as well if we actually did go the path that we want. Because I'm getting a lot of unfulfilled desires from your spirit team. They had a duty to fulfill, and that took precedent over what they actually wanted to do and what they wanted to explore. And for you, they don't want that for you. And you shouldn't want that for yourself either. It's like we can put a balance, but I'm not sacrificing myself for you. No, I'm not. Not this time. This could even mean for those of you guys who's that one friend who people rely on and call on, but yet when you're in need of help, there's no one to be found. This is absolutely your the sign to be like, yo, it's okay to say no. And people will be so shocked. People will be like, oh, but it's like, so the one time I actually want to do something for me, you have a problem with it. But every time like you want me to do something for you, I can't say anything besides yes. Oh. Next card that we have is Navigating by the Stars. I love this card. This is, I think, the first time that we got this on this reading because the imagery is just so on point with the message. There's a new path for you. And secretly, this is actually what you really desire. But I almost feel like it's been embedded in you that it's not something that you should desire. There's another life, no matter what it is that you want to experience and want to explore. I feel like this is what your soul wants, but this is something that you also want, your ego wants. And it's okay. It's okay. It says follow your bliss. Follow whatever makes you happy. That's your compass in this lifetime. Do what you want to do, not what you feel you're supposed to do. And you're naturally a good person anyways. Like, anybody who judged you for this, anyone who feels upset about this is not somebody you should have in your life anyways. And this goes for family as well. The real people will understand this. That you too have your own path. This is your own path, your own wishes. Yeah. A lot of unfulfilled wishes from your spirit team. They keep saying that. So like in essence, once again, however you do this, it's also fulfilling those wishes for your spirit team as well. You doing this will also help them continue their ascension. Number 7, we have personal growth. So it's like they're constantly speaking to you. This is also a crown chakra color, so they're constantly speaking to you, but in your case, there's something blocking it. But I do feel like it's the idea that you are meant to, you can't live, you're not supposed to live a life like that. You're not supposed to desire that. They're also bringing me, in a sense, especially if you guys are, if you identify as women, like, for some reason society and maybe just history has shown that women are supposed to have a particular type of life, which is supposed to be a service to, whether it's their partners or to having to their children. You're meant to break that. You're meant to break that cycle. You're meant to break that pattern. This is for your own good, and this is also for your spirit team is also saying this is also for your own soul's development and evolution. So pile number 3, it's once again, they are commending you for your good nature, your honor, your dedication to others. They're commending you for that, and they love that about you, obviously, or they wouldn't feel drawn to be on your team. But the thing is, they want you to keep that part about you, but also remember to live this life for yourself as well. And that sometimes it's okay to say no. And not give too much of yourself to where you are lacking any for your own desires, for your own life. The last card that we have flag. Do not be tempted to lower your standards. I find this funny because, well, ironic. Because, well, not really ironic. I find it funny because it relates to this flag where for some reason it reminds me of the knighthood, and I don't know, they're giving me like war times, you know, when people wave the flag, the white flag especially. This is not white, but it's like they're basically saying that it's time to let go of some of that and focus on something new. And once again, it's letting go of some of the aspect about you that feels I need to live a life in which it's selfless, and that's not the case. Of course, there are shadow extremes of going this, but for you know how to balance. It's going to be a balance because once again, you are a good person. You're a selfless person. That's just naturally who you are. But this is the opportunity, what your spirit team is saying. It's time for you to give up on that a little bit, and time to really give in to living a life that's more for yourself. There's going to be people around you that are going to try to make you feel guilty about this. There's going to be people who are going to be offended or shocked that, oh, this is the new you. Who cares? Once again, the real people are going to understand. Honestly, the people that should really understand are going to be the one who's never really, asks too much of you. But we know that sometimes that does happen. But at the end of the day, you actually have more power in this than you believe. Because I get the sense that someone, at least one or two of you guys, feel like I have a duty. And me living my own life means that I failed my duties. And your spirit team is almost saying like, yo, if that's what it means for you to be at your most happiest, for you to explore life that is truly based off your desires, and so be it. If that's how they're going to see me, as someone who's maybe disloyal, even though I know I'm not, then so be it. So it's going to have to take some part of you to have some type of apathy to the way people think once you do make this decision. Because once again, you have to remember, your spirit team are taking you towards this path regardless. So it's like, it's going to happen regardless of who feels any type of way. But it will be hard for you though. It's like you're an amazing person, but there is a such thing as being too selfless, too self-sacrificial. What does your life mean to you, not to others? That's what we need to figure out. But I just feel like the flag symbolism also, for some reason, it brings me back to war times, which maybe a knight would be present. And once again, I see like your spirit team has given their life for others. or for a cause. And they don't want the same for you. So, pile number 3. Beautiful. Honestly, I think your spirit team are obviously strong individuals, which is why they're dragging you, kicking and screaming to this new way of living. And eventually you will, you will give in. But at the same time, continue to be that good person that you are. But learn to have a balance of that. Okay? So, thank you so much for joining me. If you feel so inclined, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But other than that, I will catch you guys next time. Bye. What is up, pile number 4? This is for those who picked the black Tourmaline stone. We're about to find out why was your spirit team assigned to you. The cards that they gave us are the 4 of Wands in reverse, we also have the High Priestess in reverse, Two of Cups, we have number 14. This is patience, but this is also the Temperance card. We have male, female. We'll get into that later. We have Mother Mary. Mother Mary's here. Love and peace. We have overcoming difficulties. Great adventure. Number 66, healing. Wow. And we also have this card that we'll get into later. So pile number 4. Wow, it's just, first of all, let me just say this without getting into too much. Each pile in this reading was completely different than the other, which I love. This is very different from the others because with your spirit team, there's a heavy emphasis on love. And I'm not just referring to platonic love or the familial type of love. I'm really talking about romantic love. So it's not to say your spirit team is only dedicated for this aspect of your life, but this is a huge part and it's important. I have to say, what you're meant to be doing and what they're helping you with is there's some type of pattern that you usually do when it comes to relationships in other lives that they're like, enough of that. Enough of that, because now it's time to actually experience true love. Not just love that society thinks we should have, or what family should think we should have, or what my gender possibly feels like, tells me that, or what my gender, based off my gender, what people think I should have, The people on your team or the spirit on your team are individuals who could have in fact chosen relationships maybe due to convenience, because it made sense financially. Maybe there was two families joining together equals a big business of sorts, like more opportunities. But the love wasn't there. The love was not there. So the decision here is to really choose a partner from love, from a place of love, and nothing else. And that, as easy as it may sound, will be difficult for you. Because in the past, in other lives, and even your spirit team's lives, past lives, they've met with challenges. They were challenged to go the route of love, but instead they chose what was expected of them, the partner that it was expected of them, and they remained in that relationship even if they weren't happy. I'm also getting a message for those who identify as women. There's this thing that is happening, and I see this among the heterosexual, but I also see it amongst now the LGBT community as well. But they're talking about marriage, and they're talking about it in the sense that marriage is not necessarily something that should be the goal. But a lot of people consider that to be endgame, but it's not necessarily a goal. It's a possible outcome as a result of having a healthy, enjoyable relationship. But it shouldn't be the goal. Because oftentimes people get married and think they've conquered the battle of love, when in fact they're still suffering within that marriage. It's just that now you're in bondage. It's harder for you to even get out. So I see that for a lot of you guys, they're trying to shift your idea of what true love really is, because a lot of times true love does not necessarily mean marriage or even having kids. And I know that's something hard for a lot of people to hear. But you gotta see it from their perspective. Your spirit team is talking from experience. They've tried the route that was the most easiest, but less fulfilling. And they're here to help you not do the same thing. Let's begin. We have the Four of Wands in reverse. This is also for those of you guys who may be experiencing a relationship, whether it's a long-term relationship. I feel like some of you guys maybe even have been in a long-term situation or currently could be in a long-term situation, that it's like everything else is telling you that this is not supposed to this is not going to work, but because we're married, we have to make it work. No. See, once again, that's something that that is being conditioned to everyone. And it's like, no. That's not how it should work. Enjoying a relationship that's healthy and enjoyable is what you should be searching for. And at times, it's regardless of who the person may be, in the sense of gender, in the sense of status. Your spirit team is also saying that there's been many times where they married the person that they weren't in love with, and at the times they had people who they were in love with that they couldn't be with, but they wanted to be. Hello, pile number 4. Wake up. I had to tell you this as well. Some of you guys it's like there's a divorce that's needed. There's a breakup that's needed. Because until that happens, you will always be stuck. You will always be in a place of unfulfillment. And the wheels will not turn in your favor until then. Hopefully they're not sounding too harsh, but I almost feel like this is almost the nature in how they wanted to express it. Because it's coming from a place of like we can't do this. Like we've done it already. But you deserve to experience true love. I also get the sense that the Four of Wands, this is also a marriage card, but they also are challenging you to not put so much emphasis on marriage It's not to say that you won't get married, because I know that's a lot of people's desire, but what they're saying is that once again, should not be viewed as the end goal. The end game is really to have a healthy, stable, enjoyable relationship. And that could happen without a marriage license. So some of you guys need to withdraw from that concept. Let's move on. We have this is actually the High Priestess. What you don't see coming, because once again, I think this is the reason why they're coming in really hot, because a lot of you guys are not listening. A lot of you guys know what to do, but you guys aren't doing. What you don't see coming is there's actually another person coming through, another relationship that you're supposed to be experiencing, that you will experience. I don't know how it's going to crash into you, but it's coming. Once again, it's for those of you guys who are single. I think you already know it's somebody coming, but there may be a different way of that you have to think about this, because this person coming through may have a more elevated way of thinking about love, and it's something that you maybe need to catch up to. And for other you guys could be in a relationship with somebody else, and that's not who I'm referring to. It's somebody else that's coming through. You will have the choice still, though, of whether or not you want to pursue that person, but it's going to be very difficult for you to do so. Once again, it has a lot to do with these beliefs. I had this, I don't know if I should reveal this. I will, who cares? I'm sure they're not watching. But I had this, I used to be very religious. I'm not religious anymore, I'm spiritual. But I used to be very religious, and I used to be very close to the family of a pastor and his family. And so I got a first row ticket to how their relationship was. And granted, this is a very religious company. Might as well been, because that's how it was ran. But no love. But it was just more so like, we're not going to get divorced because we can't get divorced. Maybe that's a sin. But let's just say they disliked each other, and it was very evident. Somebody's coming. This person that's coming through is this person is very masculine energy, but it's coming across like a King of Pentacles, which is very crazy, because King of Pentacles is really not someone who has a very forward way of thinking. They're very much like in their own ways. So there's something about that in them. It's like maybe their nature will give you the impression that they're maybe a little bit more traditional, a little bit less progressive, but they're actually very progressive. And they have a very elevated way of thinking. And once again, this is a very loyal person and very committed person. So it's not to say that they won't believe in marriage, because I actually do feel like they have some traditions that they do keep. But it's, once again, it's an upgraded version. And it's one that resonates with you. I also get that for you guys are not necessarily happy. If you guys are in a relationship, I don't get that you're happy. And this is what your spirit team is really trying to get you to understand, that you can actually be happy. I don't care if you've been together with this person for so and so amount of years, X amount of years, doesn't matter. The point is, are you happy? There's going to be somebody else, even within a current relationship, that's going to show you how happy you can be, even if you guys are not a couple. This person's very, their love language is very generous, but there's substance behind these gifts or whatever they give you. Yo, I'm sorry. I'm going to pull some more cards out for this person. Okay. So, literally your other half. I know we're complete people, but complete individuals, but literally your other half is what they're saying. And that's what's missing. For some of you guys, it's just the romance. For others of you guys, it's you don't see yourself in your partner. And a lot of you guys who are single, you just don't see yourself around the people around the potentials of love around you. And that's for a reason, because there's a person that's really tailored to you. Justice card here as well indicates that, once again, they're correcting a balance. Your spirit team is correcting or trying to really restore balance to your love life, because it's been a little lopsided for some time, and even other lifetimes. Either one person's giving in more than the other, or one person's more in love than the other, or maybe there's a disconnect between the two partners, and we're just here because we just have to be here for whatever reason. Run for the hills. I don't mean to really sound like I don't mean to jest, but it's just, you have to understand, this is your spirit team really trying to communicate this message. If it's not true love, if you don't feel like you're happy, if you don't feel like this relationship is enjoyable in any way, you need to leave. And it's that type of, it's really self-love. That's an example of it. It's self-love. And that's what's really going to bring you a lot closer to this person that's coming through. And you also have to understand that if you are single, please note that your singlehood has nothing to do with your worth and how you look. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, you know that the right person is still on its way. Like, you are well aware of the type of relationship that you deserve to have. But I do feel like the message that they really are aiming towards is for the people who are in a relationship. The Two of Cups here indicates a soulmate. This is divine union that's really, they're slowly but surely coming your way. So I don't get the sense that you're even waiting. You're not even expecting this person to show up, but they are. In this lifetime, you are meant to have a true love connection. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. They were just talking and they wanted me to pull more cards, and I did. Number 14, temperance, patience. Slowly but surely they are coming, and also more indication that this person is like your literal half. They complete you. And once again, we are a complete individual, of course. It's just a figure of speech that this person holds a lot of attributes and traits, and what they bring to the table is what you could be missing. But this is a relationship that really, you both are upgrading, you both are in love, you both are enjoying it, you both are happy, you both have similar views and outlooks on lives. Yeah. And what's interesting about this card is that this also tells that this is something that you've been trying, this is what you've been manifesting, whether or not you consciously know it. The seed for this has already been planted. For some reason, I'm getting that it's going to take some type of courage to really pursue this. There's something about this connection that's different than what you've known, or what you've been doing. And as we get to this next card, some of you guys, it could be a different gender than what you've used to date. It could be a different type of race, a different type of something different about it that some people will be like shunning. You know what I mean? There's something about that. But it's completely right. It's just that society has taught them different. Now we got male and female, or male-female. This card literally speaks about that in one lifetime, or there's a lifetime that's affecting this current life, in which you were not the same sex that you are. Like, for example, if you are female, there's a high chance that you were a male in another past life. I also feel like in your spirit team, these are people who are they have a very ambiguous way of expressing gender, or their way of thinking about gender is very, very elevated. It's very fluid. Like, these are the people that don't believe that women are just supposed to be wife and children. These are also the type of people who believe that not only like men could also be stay-at-home parents. They don't always have to be the breadwinner. This is that type of. And there's somebody else who you're going to be in a relationship with who also shares those type of progressive beliefs. It's like progressive, but there's still a hint of tradition that they like to keep. But it's not problematic. This is also indicating for a lot of you guys could be a part of the LGBT, which explains a little bit of the controversy that I feel coming through. It's just, no matter what it is, it defies the normal laws of gender, what society considers to be normal. It defies that. And your spirit team are backing you up like, no, this is the new age. This is how it always was. You guys made it, not you guys as in pile number 4, but society. You guys made it seem as though it had to only be one way. And that's not the case. So your love, this new love, this true love is going to be an example of that. Not to say that should be what's going on in your head when you actually be in this relationship. Like, you don't have to burden yourself with that. It's just, this is the natural effect that it will have. I see some fear though. It's coming from a place of fear as well, where it's going to be it's going to take some courage to get into this relationship, this new relationship that's going to be presented to you. And you know why that is. It's going to be different for each one of you guys. You know what that is. Your spirit team is saying that this relationship is meant to be the embodiment that true love defies these constructs that people put. This could also indicate your spirit team is full of people who are of mixed genders. You could have a group of males and a group of females. That's also a part of your team. But I also see some ambiguous type of beings as well. Yeah, this is just about progression. This is about once again, true love, and that transcends you know, time and space. And just, I think it requires you guys to, not to say that this person won't be attractive to you, physically attractive, but it does require you to not look at it from a superficial way, but to really go with your heart. Because your heart is going to be like boom, 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 because it's like your soul is like, yes, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. And it's going to require you to listen to that rather than listen to what society is saying, what people may be saying to you. Mother Mary. Love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. In essence, this is your spirit team is helping you heal from this pattern. This pattern has been something that has been an issue within the lineage or within your lives for some time. This is also for those of you guys who maybe, I feel like some of you guys could have lives in which you could have married someone who wasn't, who you could have been a part of a heterosexual relationship and you were attracted to someone of the same sex. And of course, back then, in whatever lifetime that it was taboo. It's still, and that's something it's treated as such even now, even at 2022. But it's once again, it's going to require you to really see this as true divine love, unconditional love, and other people will see it too. This love, these roses represent love, and it also represents other people loving you guys together and really accepting you guys as the true embodiment of what love is. They're also saying that if you guys do not follow your heart, you will never be at peace. There will always be, you will never shake that feeling that there's something better, there's something more. That's a warning, because it's very easy for people to really just marry people because it makes financial sense. They marry people because, you know, maybe they look good on paper, or maybe because they actually have the looks but they have nothing else to bring. But yeah, it just makes sense to marry them and have kids for whatever reason. But the love isn't there. It's your heart, it's your heart, it's your heart, it's your heart. Let go of the need to be right. So I feel like for some of you guys, it's going to take for you guys to reprogram how you think. It's going to have to take reprogramming how you think. I also feel like the person that's coming through as the new love interest is somebody that you were in love with but couldn't be with in a past life. So once again, Spirit Team is helping you get this opportunity again to choose love. Overcoming obstacles, or overcoming difficulties, I'm sorry. Archangel Jeremiel, the worst is now behind you and you are surmounting any previous challenges. So, once again, I just feel like it's going to be a struggle. But, you know, it's expected, because it's going to require you guys to, in some way, upset the majority, or upset the society, or upset people that think they know what's best for you. And it may take some time, but eventually they'll understand. But that still could be hard for you. I almost feel like for a lot of you guys will be presented with two options. One of which is the option that you are meant to choose, that you should choose. Well, there's another option that you know you're not in love with, but it just makes sense. Like maybe they have the right career, maybe they have, some type of, maybe they have the right family, I don't know, or whatever the case may be, but your heart is not in it. But sometimes people ignore that when that's the most important. So there's some type of struggle I see as inner struggle that is keeping you stuck. And this is especially for those of you guys who are currently in a relationship, especially a long-term relationship, that almost feel like you're just going with the motion. You're not excited about the relationship. You're not enjoying the relationship. And you're not happy. But once again, I see it as a struggle, but it's only because you make it a struggle. So it is going to be a challenge in that sense. It's going to require you to take some type of leap of faith as well. But they're saying it's all mental. The struggle is all mental. Like, it's all fears that are not real. Like, you don't have to believe that. You shouldn't believe that. Your spirit team is really coming across as like just fed up almost. Like, I don't know. I don't know why they're coming across that way. Maybe they're just fed up with how the pattern has been for lifetimes before. But, or maybe it's really them trying to get your attention on something that's happening now. Or at the very least, something that will be happening soon for you. We have great adventure. Take a risk. Venture forward. Yes, this is new territory. This relationship that's coming through is unlike any other relationship that you've been in. And it's, well, for one, it's going to be a relationship that you're actually experiencing true love in. But also, once again, this is also hinting on the fact that there's something different about it. And part of it does make you scared. But the fears are baseless. There's nothing to fear. But you're going to go through it. You're absolutely going to go through it. When the relationship is presented to you, when that new option comes around, you will move forward with it rather quickly, regardless of what anyone has to say. And it's because you'll immediately know that this is the person that you're supposed to be with, regardless of any social construct that people have, what society may have to say. None of that matters. Next color we have is 66, healing. And essentially that's what's happening. We are correcting a pattern, which is healing. They're also showing me the 6 of Wands. You guys absolutely will accomplish this. You will. And I know it probably just seems like, it's just another relationship, or this is just a new, more profound relationship, but it means so much more, your spirit team is saying to them. Because for them, it's like, you finally, like, this is completion of the karmic pattern. We finally got rid of it. We finally broken the cycle. And for them, that will be a job well done. They're very adamant about making sure that this is broken in this lifetime for you. And they're saying that you will have success. This next relationship will absolutely, it will flow naturally, it will flow nicely. It will absolutely be a successful relationship. Not just because that's how people view it, not because that's what the paper says, because you guys are truly in love, truly enjoying one's company, truly benefiting, mutually benefiting, and it's happy, it's stable. And regardless of because I do believe that they really are trying to get rid of the idea that marriage is the end game for a lot of you guys. For some of you guys, marriage will still be a result. It's just putting the importance that defines true love when that's not the case. Because your spirit team is saying, we've learned that that's not the case. So, I'm not gonna hold you. I love this pile. I love this pile because your spirit team is just like no mess. But the topic is love, but they're coming at it from like a very militant approach, but it's coming from love though. It's just like they're not about playing these games. They're showing me the Sun card. It's like true happiness is at your reach. You can have that. And you will have that. You will choose the right decision. You will. Regardless. You're going to choose love. You're going to choose true love. And essentially, you're choosing you, really. The last card that we have, Tower. Solid foundation, success with effort. Once again, this new relationship will absolutely be a success. It will require you, with the Tower card, to kind of relinquish any beliefs that isn't necessarily conducive to what true love is. But it will ultimately be a success, this next relationship. And that applies for those of you guys who are single and those of you guys who are in a relationship. I don't believe the person that they're referring to as true love is the person that you're with currently. This person has not presented the love offer, has not necessarily shown themselves to you. I don't get that they have yet. But that really means for a lot of you guys, it means that there's a chapter that needs to be closed before this person comes in. Pile number 4. This was interesting because I was not expecting a love reading, like a blatant love reading, but your spirit team is absolutely serious about this. Because love is important. And I almost feel like there's been lifetimes and maybe even in this lifetime just examples that you've settled for that were so clearly not examples of true loves or real love. Like, it was so clear, and yet you remain there. And it's like, your spirit seems like, did you not learn anything? Did you not learn anything from our mistakes? But once again, they just want to see you happy. And it's not to say that their lives didn't have any happiness, because I'm sure it has, is what they're expressing. But it's like there was still room to be, for potential to be even more happy, to be at our most happiest state. As they show me the Ten of Cups image. So, and that's what you have the opportunity to do in this life. But you're going to have to ignore what people may say or people may believe, because once again, there's going to be more people who are going to show and support this relationship of yours. There's going to be more people who are going to be supporting it. Not that you need it, but there's going to be more people that support this relationship or connection that's coming through versus people who don't. And once again, the male-female card indicates that it could have something to do with gender norms as well, defining those gender norms. And it could also have something to do with LGBT for some of you guys. But overall, it's going to be a well-balanced connection, true love, divine connection, a divine union, a union of divine souls that were always meant to be together. In other lives, and I feel like in some lifetimes, you guys weren't together, but you guys wanted to be together. This time, we're ignoring anything that's going to prevent us from being together. Which is why it's going to be a struggle, because that part of that lifetime or past lives is going to replicate itself in this lifetime. There's going to be some opposition, but it's up to you to not yield to that. You can't yield to that anymore. You have to follow your heart. So, pile number 4. I went on a little bit longer. I do apologize, but your spirit team was not about the games, and they were not going to end this connection before I tell you everything that they need to say. So, this is probably one of my favorites. I hope that you enjoyed that. So, if you feel so inclined, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But other than that, I will catch you guys next time.